Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel here on YouTube, Shirley TV. Shirley TV. So I just want to go over this third lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. Sean Diddy Combs. So this is the third lawsuit. So I covered the first two. And I think there is a fourth and a fifth lawsuit, but all of these are allegations. All of these are allegations. So in the United States, as you know, you are innocent until proven guilty. So it says in this lawsuit, this article here is captured. This lawsuit is captured by the United States News. Excuse me, United States News. It says Sean Diddy Combs accused in third lawsuit this month of assaulting a woman. Singer Aaron Hall is also named in the lawsuit. The woman identified as Liza Gardner. Liza Gardner accused Combs and Hall of assaulting her and her friend in the early 1990s. Sean Diddy Combs, this is a picture of him in Las Vegas, 2022. And this article is by Miss Diana Dazrath, Minnie Von Burke, and Nicole Childers. Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of assaulting another woman who alleged in a lawsuit that the music mogul and the R&B singer Aaron Hall assaulted her and her friend at Hall's apartment in 1990 or 1991. The alleged assault happened following an event at the offices of MCA Records, according to a lawsuit filed Thursday in New York Supreme Court, one day before the expiration of the New York Adult Survivors Act, which allows adult assault survivors 1 year to sue regardless of when the original statute of limitations expired. So in other words, this is a third lawsuit. In other words, and regardless of when the assault happened, they had, the assault victims, they had 1 year to file. I think it was November 24th, 2023 was the deadline. So that was the deadline. So a spokesperson for Combs told NBC News the claims involving alleged misconduct against Mr. Combs from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute are all completely denied and rejected by him. He recognizes this as a money grab. And the thing is, I can't remember nothing that happened to me 30 years ago. Nothing. I really can't. I mean, I'm an older person, so over 50, I might add. I'm over 50 and I can't remember anything that happened to me 30 years ago. I mean, I can remember bits, like little bits, like I do remember when I was riding my bike down the street years ago when I was a young girl. But that's all I can remember. I can remember riding down the street and we turned over on a bike when we got to the corner. That's all I remember. And then that's just one bit. And then I can remember sitting in my kindergarten class. I can remember just sitting in my kindergarten class. That's all I can remember from that era. Sitting in my kindergarten class, and that's the only thing I can remember about that class. And then I also have another memory of when my teacher called me to the front of the class, and because I was talking in the back of the class, so she called me to the front of the class and spiked me on my legs. Well, I think she had like a ruler or something, and that's what I remember. And I don't even remember what grade that was. I know that was elementary school, so I remember those bits. It's like bits and pieces, so I don't know. I mean, it could be possible. I'm not trying to contradict what nobody else's memory could be, but 30 years ago, I mean, these are all allegations, so, allegedly he did those things, and like I said, in the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. So it says a spokesperson for Combs told NBC News the claims involving alleged misconduct against Mr. Combs from over 30 years ago and found at the last minute are all completely denied and rejected by him. He recognizes this as a money grab because of Mr. Combs' fame and success. He is an easy target for accusers who will falsify the truth without conscience or consequence or financial benefit. The New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited for improper purposes. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these unsubstantiated allegations. Hall could not immediately be reached for comment. Woman said she was shocked and traumatized. The woman identified in the complaint as Liza Gardner said she and a friend met Combs and Hall, who was a member of the R&B group Guy at the record label's offices for an event MCA was hosting. The friend is not named as a plaintiff in the lawsuit. The suit alleges that Combs and Hall were very flirtatious and handsy with Liza Gardner and her friend and offered them drinks throughout the event. Toward the end of the night, Combs and Hall invited Gardner and her friend back to Hall's apartment for an after party, according to the lawsuit. And also according to the lawsuit, while at Hall's apartment, Liza Gardner was offered more drinks and was coerced into having with Combs. The suit says, after Combs finished doing his business, Liza Gardner laid in bed, shocked and traumatized. So they definitely have to prove whether or not it was consensual or it was a forced, coerced type of thing. Was it consensual first of all, did it happen? Second of all, was it consensual or was it, did she consent to it? Or was it something that she was coerced to do? So these allegations have to be proven in a court of law. So you have to come with your proof. So we don't know if this civil lawsuit is going to go to trial, or is it going to be settled like the Cassie Ventura lawsuit, which was settled. So we have to see what the outcome is going to be. So we don't know if it's going to be settled, or we don't know if Puppy is going to settle, his lawyers will settle, him and his lawyers, or we don't know if it's going straight to trial, because it could be a civil lawsuit could lead to a civil trial, and these are some serious allegations. So assault and battery can also turn to a criminal case. It can also turn into a criminal case because these are some serious criminal allegations. So like I said, in the court of law, it has to be you're innocent until proven guilty in the United States of America. But I know some countries you're guilty and then, until you're proven innocent. But we have, over here in the United States, we're innocent until proven guilty. While she was trying to get dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Liza Gardner to have with him, the suit says. Following the alleged assaults, she got dressed and ran from the home, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit accuses both men of assaulting Ms. Gardner's friend that same evening at Hall's home. Upon information and belief, when Combs finished with Liza Gardner, he and Hall switched and they commenced assaulting Liza Gardner's friend, the lawsuit alleges. Days later, Combs went to the home where Gardner and her friend were staying, became irate and allegedly assaulted and choked Gardner until she passed out. According to the suit, it says that Combs was allegedly looking for the friend because he feared she would tell the girl he was with at the time. In addition to Combs and Hall, the lawsuit names MCA Music Entertainment Group and Geffen Records as defendants. NBC News reached out to Universal Music Group, the owner of Geffen and now defunct MCA. A spokesperson there did not immediately respond to requests for comment. When reached for comment, Maurice for Carmen, Tyrone Blackburn, an attorney for Gardner, said his client is in the process of securing her medical documents and witness statements. We will amend the complaint in the coming week and have more to share at that time, Blackburn said. Other lawsuits accuse Combs of abuse. Combs and some of his companies have been at the center of abuse lawsuits in the past week. Another accuser, Joey Dickerson, Neal, filed a separate lawsuit Thursday alleging that Combs drugged her and assaulted her in 1991 while she was a college student at Syracuse University. Dickerson Neal, who said she reluctantly had dinner with Combs at a New York City restaurant and then accompanied him as he ran errands, also accused Combs of recording the assault without her knowledge and sharing that video with other people. So I did cover the Joey Dickerson Neal lawsuit. So I did pull that up online, and I did analyze that one as well on my website. So on my Shirley TV channel, it says she went to Syracuse University. So she reluctantly had dinner with Mr. Combs. She reluctantly had dinner with Mr. Combs at a New York City restaurant and accompanied him while he ran errands. I am so thankful for the bravery of the other women that came forward. The Assault Survivors Act, which opened up the filing windows to seek justice, and the unwavering support from my attorneys. Dickerson Neal said in a statement Friday, for 32 years, the only people I have been able to confide in were my close friends and therapists. I am feeling as if the darkness has been lifted and I can freely move forward in achieving my full potential. A spokesperson for Combs denied the allegations, saying the claims are not credible and this is purely a money grab. So in other words, Mr. Combs and his camp, his lawyers, his team, they say that these allegations are just a money grab. So we will see what the end result is, because like I said, in the United States, you're innocent until proven guilty. These are merely allegations. So things have to be proven in a court of law. So over here in the United States, we can say this and we can say that. We can do this and we can do that. But it's all in all what can be proven in the courtroom. In other words, what proof can you bring forward that these allegations are true, that these allegations happen? What proof are you bringing to a court of law or to this lawsuit? So these are mere allegations through word of mouth. So it's almost like he said, she said, It's a he said, she said situation at this point. Unless you have, I guess, witnesses that did see the actual assault take place. But we'll see how things pan out at the end. Will it be settled or will it go to a civil trial? So these are definitely some serious criminal allegations that have to be proven in a court of law. This last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentional law can be turned on its head. A spokesperson for Combs said, Ms. Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grab and nothing more. So during the time span mentioned in the lawsuit, when Dickerson Neal alleges an assault took place, Combs worked for Uptown Records and had not yet formed his companies. Dickerson Neal said she decided to file a lawsuit after Combs' former girlfriend, singer and actor Cassie, filed a federal lawsuit alleging he and abused her. Cassie's lawsuit was settled one day later for an undisclosed amount of money. Cassie, whose full name is Cassandra Ventura, said she decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. Ben Braffman, the lawyer for Combs, said The mogul's decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. Braffman said, Douglas Wigdor, an attorney for Cassie, has not directly commented on Jane Doe or Dickinson's lawsuit, but said Friday, in my experience, handling assault cases, it is not uncommon for other victims to come forward once the first brave survivor makes public allegations concerning a high-profile perpetrator. Another lawsuit was filed Tuesday accusing Harve Pierre, the ex-president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of assaulting an unnamed former assistant. Combs' companies were also named in the lawsuit on one count of gender-motivated violence and 2 counts of negligence. Pierre did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the allegations. A spokesperson for Bad Boy Entertainment said Wednesday that the company was aware of the lawsuit and is now investigating the allegations. So they said another lawsuit was filed Tuesday accusing Harve Pierre, the president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of assaulting an unnamed former assistant. So an unnamed former assistant. So that was that information from the news media outlet, NBC News. So let me see. Okay, I think was that the third accuser sues Sean Combs for an assault. Jane Doe plaintiff alleges Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall took turns, her and a friend, after an event at Uptown Records in the early 1990s. I think I covered this one in another video. Sean Diddy Combs has been hit with a third lawsuit alleging assault under the Adult Survivors Act that expired after Thanksgiving. The new complaint, November 24th, 2023, says the new complaint from an anonymous accuser alleges Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall took turns, and a plaintiff and her friend in 1990, 90 or 91, and then Diddy turned violent during a rage days later. In the filing obtained by Rolling Stone, Jane Doe alleges she and her friend met Diddy and Hall at an event hosted by MCA Records, the distributor of Uptown Records, at the company's offices in New York. Okay, this is the article I just read. Well, this is the second article of the same claim from Miss Jane Doe. So I just covered this article, so I don't want to go back over this. Because this is the same, right, because said he was acting flirtatious, and Combs and Hall were acting very flirtatious and handsy with Jane Doe and her friend, offering them drinks throughout the night, and filling reeds. I don't know what that means. And filling reeds. As the event was winding down, Combs and Hall allegedly invited the woman back to Hall's apartment for an after party. While at Hall's apartment, Jane Doe was offered more drinks and was coerced with Combs the filing claims. After Combs finished doing his business, Jane Doe laid in bed shocked and traumatized. As she was in the process of getting dressed, Hall barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Jane Doe to with him. The complaint said Jane Doe quickly got dressed and fled from Hall's residence after the alleged assault. It alleges she later spoke to her friend and learned the other woman had been forced with Combs and Hall in another room. So I just read this lawsuit right here. This is just another article. So this is another article. This is the third lawsuit. So the third accuser sues Sean Combs for assaulting her So like I said, innocent in the United States until proven guilty in a court of law. What can you bring to this court of law? Your due process. So we all are entitled to our due process. So that means a fair trial. But let me see. Hold up now. This is it was the third lawsuit. So I think this is the same one. Sean Diddy Combs denies accusations after new. Let me see. I think I already covered this one too as well. Sean Diddy Combs denies accusations after new gang blank lawsuit. And woman has accused Sean Diddy Combs and two other men. Okay, I did this one. I already covered this one. So this young lady right here was 17 years old. I think altogether it's 5 lawsuits, but I didn't see, but I think it was only 3 that I pulled up online, I believe. So the plaintiff, who was dubbed Jane Doe in the suit, alleged she was, okay, I read this one. This was the one, I pulled this one up, about the 17-year-old. Sean Diddy Combs faces second and third. So I did those 2, but I don't know. Second and third. Combs reacts to new assault lawsuit. Sean Diddy Combs reacts to new assault lawsuit. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Sean Diddy Combs is facing a new abuse lawsuit that names him former Bad Boy Entertainment President Harvey Pierre and an unnamed third defendant. The complaint, which was filed against the hip-hop producer on December the 6th, was brought by a Canadian woman identified only as Jane Doe, said she was trafficked and raped and Ara in 2003 when she was 17 and in the 11th grade. Okay, I did cover this. I think I did pull up this actual lawsuit. Lawsuit obtained by NBC News and bearing a trigger warning about the graphic content within claims Pierre and the third unnamed defendant approached the teen at a lounge in Detroit, Michigan, and Pierre told her he was best friends with Diddy and proceeded to call him. Right, I covered this lawsuit. I pulled up the actual lawsuit on this one. So yeah, right. She was. This is the one that was 17 years old. The young lady was 17 years old. Well, actually, a young girl, 17, a teenager. So in other words, yes, Mr. Pierre, he, let the victim know that he knew Mr. Diddy Combs, and he called Mr. Diddy in her presence. So I did actually pull up this lawsuit on one of my other videos. It says the suit also claims, so this is the 17-year-old, the 17-year-old. And so this incident, this alleged incident, assault incident, this alleged assault happened in 2003, and it was a 17-year-old young, I guess I would say young woman, young lady, teenager, 17. And it said the suit also contains photographs that allegedly show the teen was in the recording studio with Combs on the night in question. Right, so I did pull this one up, the actual lawsuit, where she was sitting on Mr. Combs' lap. So that was a picture there. The photos are of a young woman with her face blurred for the purpose of anonymity, with one showing her in Combs' lap, right, and others showing her throughout what the complaint says is his studio. Right, Ms. Doe has lived with her memories of this fateful night for 20 years, during which time she has suffered extreme emotional distress that has impacted nearly every aspect of her life and personal relationship. The lawsuit states adding that she is seeking injunctive, declaratory, and monetary relief against defendants. The complaints against Combs began November 16th with a lawsuit from his former girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, accusing him of trafficking and assault. The suit was settled a day later. A decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is no way an admission of wrongdoing. Right? It's no admission of wrongdoing. It's just the fact that people are going to have their doubts, and people are going to think what they want to think because they figure, yeah, you settled. So, they're thinking you settled, so they figuring that you are guilty because you settled. But really, that doesn't really prove that you are guilty because none of these allegations have been proven in a court of law. So you are, Mr. Puffy Combs, he is definitely entitled to his due process. So he has not been proven guilty in a court of law. So these are merely allegations. He settled the lawsuit, but he settled the lawsuit based on allegations. So whatever he felt, why he felt that he wanted to settle. I mean, those are his reasons. He had his own reasons for why he settled. A lot of times people don't want things to be drug out, long time trials, Sometimes they say these type of cases can last 2 or 3 years. And then you can also spend a lot of money in a court of law trying to fight your case. And then neither side really have no guarantees on whether or not they are going to win. And then no lawyer is ensured an outcome of any case. No lawyer. That's in the law book. So when I took my paralegal course, I do have my paralegal diploma, but I'm not a lawyer, but I have taken enough law courses to know. I mean, there's so many different areas of law, but I know the basics, so I do know the basics, but I am trying to further my law, I guess I would say, I want to further my law knowledge, I guess I would say. Because we could all read. You don't have to go to law school to learn the law. I have a whole set of law books right now in my closet. Yes, and my husband purchased. So we have a whole set of law books, and also I took a business law course at Australia University where I obtained my bachelor's in business administration. Australia University, right here in the United States of America, in the DMV. So yes, so we do have Howard University over here near, I guess I say near the DMV line, so I guess they're considered, you can consider them in a location of the DMV. They call it the DMV because it's the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. So in those areas, if you are in those areas, you are located in the DMV. Yes, so, but we also have the University of the District of Columbia, so that is a good, prominent university as well. But Howard University is definitely well known. So, so nothing has been proven. So these are merely allegations. So it's like, this to me is like your word against my word. I guess we're looking and waiting on the proof to come out at the end. Is it going to go to a civil trial, or will Mr. Puffy Combs settle? So I guess that depends on him and his team of lawyers, But it says a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. No, because if you look back, I guess if you if anybody, go look up some cases. Do your research. Go look up some cases, because a lot of these cases are public knowledge. Go look up some cases to see which ones, if any, probably a whole lot, were settled. See if you can pull up, do some research, and find out. I need to do that myself. Just do some research and see what cases were settled, what lawsuits were settled, and what were the ending results? Did they end up in a case, like a civil case? Did it go to court? You know what I'm saying? Did these civil lawsuits go to trial? And what was the outcome? So were some of the defendants proven guilty? Just to see the outcome. Those. I guess I would call those, what they would call them, precedent cases. Precedent cases. Similar cases. Those precedent cases. Those are the cases that. Precedent cases are similar cases that they look at, they view those precedent cases. Those I call them important cases. So, past cases that you can look at that are similar to the present cases. And you can look at a case and say, well, this case is similar to this case. So I can look at this case while I'm trying to solve, I can look at this past precedent case while I'm trying to solve this new case. So back in the day in common law, this is where I learned that we talked about it in my business law course. Back in the day, judges went down in the towns. So when they make decisions on cases, so in other words, they solve cases. It's just like when they solve cases, I don't know if they had books and papers back then in those days, but when they solved those cases, they put, I guess they wrote them down, had some type of, in other words, so you can have some type of proof. So when they solved those cases, they put them down and they became law. So let the decision stand decisive. So that's what they call precedent cases. So if we can look back in history or in the past, that's the history, and see if there are any similar cases to Mr. Puff Daddy Combs' case, and see, look at some of those precedent cases, similar cases to this case here with Mr. Sean Diddy Combs, and just see what the outcome was, But I guess we can I'm talking about one that may have went to trial, that's what. But this one hasn't went to trial. But I know the Cassie Ventura lawsuit. I mean, I guess I would consider that as a precedent case as well, because it's similar to this particular lawsuit that he has with Miss Jane Doe, or Miss Jane Doe, and then it's Miss Dickerson, and I think it's Jane Doe. I think Miss Jane Doe, did that lawsuit come out as being Miss Dickerson? So I have to go back and see, but I know, right, it's a Canadian woman, okay? Well, I know one young lady was 17, but in other words, we need to look for some precedent cases, some similar cases to this case. So, just to review, I would love to do that. Go back and, so a lot of these cases are public record. Well, this young lady, 17 years old, she brought her lawsuit December the 6th. Right, it says December the 6th this lawsuit was filed against Mr. Sean Puffy Combs, 2000, the incident happened in 2003, but she just filed December 6, 2023. So 2003, that's what, 20 years ago? All right, she was in 11th grade. A lawsuit obtained by ABC News and bearing a trigger warning about the graphic content within claims Pierre and the third unnamed defendant approached a teen at a lounge in Detroit, Michigan, and Pierre told her he was best friends with Mr. Combs. So let me see. They said it was 5. According to my research, it's 5, but I didn't really. They didn't have. I didn't see the actual. They didn't have it online. I didn't see it. Actually, the actual 5. I think I only pulled up 3. I think I only see where they mentioned 5, and they talked about 5, but I wanted to see the actual contract, the actual the actual lawsuit. So it usually comes up maybe that particular court in that particular state. You probably have to do some research on that and try to find the lawsuit that way. If it's public knowledge, if it's ready for public to view. So I can type in Sean Diddy Combs lawsuits. So it says to date there have been 4. Okay, right. So there only been 4 that have been filed. To date there have been 4 suits filed against Diddy, dating back to the very beginning of his career in the record industry in the early 90s. So only 4. 4 suits filed, because I know I haven't seen the 5th one, but it was a mention of the 5th one. It says some of the victims who filed are alleging that they were drugged and coerced into acts with Mr. Combs, that they were videotaped, a lot of really awful graphic allegations. And look at the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. So let me see. So they said it's only 4 lawsuits were filed, but they mentioned the 5th one, but like I said, I never even seen the 5th one. But like I said, that's why they said these are allegations. And look at the allegations. Look at the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. It says last month, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of years of abuse by his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, better known as the singer Cassie. I never even heard of Cassie. Never really heard of Cassie. I mean, I knew of Sean Diddy Combs because I know he went to Howard University. So I know when he attended Howard, I did hear about him. Never met him, but I did hear about him when he went, to Howard University. And then I heard about him in the music industry, how he was doing his own little rap music, and then I didn't even know he had his own label or none of that. But I just knew he would put out songs as a rap artist. And then I heard that he had, when he attended Howard University right over here. That's where I'm at, right over here in the DMV area. So when he went to Howard University, I did hear, because you hear things in the news. And I think Nick Cannon also went to Howard University. So I'm right here, but I didn't even go to Howard. I went to Strayer University. I'm right here in the DMV as well. But I went to Strayer University. So Strayer University has, I know when I left there, they had 13 campuses. 13 campuses worldwide. Then later on, over the years, I found out that they had over 100-something campuses. So Strayer University is practically, I know I don't say practically, but I know they definitely have a campus in just about every state in the United States. But I can do some research and find out exactly how many campuses they have probably sooner. Let me finish reading this. Okay, last month, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of years of abuse by his girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, better known as singer Cassie. Well, I never heard any of her music, but I will go back to YouTube and listen to some of her music. In a civil suit filing, Ventura alleged that Combs spent years emotionally and physically abusing her, subjecting her to human trafficking, coercion, even her. Diddy publicly denied all allegations, and he quickly settled out of court. But since then, more women have come forward with similar allegations against Combs. NPR music correspondent Sydney Madden has been following all of this. Hi there. Summer, Sydney Madden by line, hey Juana. Summers. So first of all, let's just rewind and go back to when these allegations first broke. I mean, they really shocked people, right? So this was like a conversation. Yeah, this was big breaking news for a few key reasons inside and outside the hip hop world. First of all, it has to do with the sincerity of the charges. The suit that Cassie filed against him was over 30 pages long. Right, it was 35 pages because I did cover that suit on my I think it's on my Shirley TV channel, right here on YouTube. It says it was over 30 pages long. I think it was 35 pages. Then it has to do with the level of Diddy's stature in hip-hop and just the music world in general. He's always been seen as a symbol of relentless hustle, someone who has a major business acumen in the industry, an industry leader, you would say. And then, right, a business acumen in the industry. I think he studied business administration at Howard University. I think he got his bachelor's in business administration at Howard. I did my bachelor's in business administration at Strayer University. So that's a 4-year degree. So when you get a bachelor's degree, you learn a whole lot. That's a 4-year degree. Imagine going to school for 4 years and you're taking everything from accounting, business law, you're taking finance classes, programming classes, accounting courses. So I took, accounting courses, a couple of accounting courses. We had to take managerial accounting and another basic accounting course, and we took so many classes, within that 4-year span. So you learn a lot in a bachelor's degree. So that's why I'm on YouTube with my channels. All my channels are based on business, law, accounting. So when you're dealing in business, you're dealing in so many different things. You're talking about contracts. You're talking about, a lawsuit is a contract. A divorce petition is a contract. A lease agreement is a contract. So we talked about those type of things in our business law course. So in business, you're talking about marketing, advertising, promoting, copyrights, trademarks, patents. Business is so broad. It's a broad term because there's so many topics that comes under business. Okay, it says Mr. Puffy Combs, he has always been a symbol of relentless hustle. Someone who is a major business acumen in the industry, right? And industry leader, you would say. And then Cassie is one of his longest running public relationships and one of his artists on Bad Boy Entertainment. So to hear about this dark underbelly of their relationship really shocked a lot of casual fans who've seen them on the red carpet for years. As we mentioned, this is a story that did not end with Cassie. More women have filed civil suits against Diddy, and I'll note here that the details there were disturbing and graphic. Yes, absolutely. To date, there have been 4 suits filed. 4 suits, but there was a mention of 5, but I didn't see it, so maybe they didn't actually file it yet. So it says, to date, there have been 4 suits filed. Some of the victims who filed are alleging that they were drugged and coerced into acts with Mr. Puffy Combs and also were videotaped. So they're saying 4 lawsuits have been filed to date, and they are all the victims are alleging that they were drugged, coerced into acts, certain type of acts with Mr. Combs, and also these acts were videotaped, and they were really awful and graphic allegations. And all these filings so far have happened in New York. Most of them under the Adult Survivors Act, which is a bill that was passed to all victims to have a 1-year look-back window to be able to file a civil case against the abuser, regardless of the statute of limitations. So in other words, they had another window, another year window to file, no matter how long ago the abuse or the assault happened. It could have been 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It don't make no difference. So they're saying that they gave them another year window to file. It's a deadline window, and that was was it November? I think it was November the 24th, 2023. That was the deadline window date that you could file under the Adult Survivors Act. It says there have been other high-profile cases against music megastars in recent years. That's what I was talking about. So we had to look at we had to look back in the history of in the history of cases, for cases like these, to look for those precedent cases, those important cases, those similar cases that you can look at. You can look at and you can say, well, this case is similar to this case, so I want to look at this. I want to analyze it. I want to review it. I want to see what the outcome was in that case. Did it go all the way to a civil court trial? There was a civil allegation. There was a civil lawsuit filed, but was it settled, or did it go all the way to a civil case? No, a civil case, a trial, in a civil court. So this is not a criminal. This is not a criminal lawsuit. This is not a criminal case as of yet. This is a civil lawsuit. So these are some serious criminal allegations listed in this civil lawsuit, though. It says, first of all, so far, all of these cases are civil. Right, that's what I said. They are civil, not criminal. So Diddy is not facing any jail time, but more implicitly, a lot of the young women who accuse R. Kelly over the years were a lot of underage black girls who are not famous, versus Cassie, who she's not only famous, she's famously been with his partner. She's famously been his partner for years. And I think it also has to do with the character of Sean Diddy Combs in general. Right, so the ladies that have come out against Sean Diddy Combs, the ladies that have come out against him, right, they are not underage. We only had one young lady that was 17. So did the alleged assault happen when she was 17? So that have to be proven. So first of all, you have to prove, she said she was 17 when it happened, but did it actually happen when she was 17, or was she a little older? So if you can recollect things in your mind and your life and your memory that happened 30 years ago, that's pretty good. Because I could barely remember my high school years. Bits and pieces I don't remember. A few little things I do remember from my high school situation, but I'm like, that's a long time back. Some people have better memory than others, so we can't, disregard that. So they're saying that, R. Kelly. So I have to look into the R. Kelly case as well. I don't know if he I don't know if there were any civil lawsuits against R. Kelly. I didn't keep up with the case. I didn't keep up with his case, but I know they were talking about the two young ladies that he was dealing with, both of them at the same time. And it was a discrepancy about their age. So this has to be proven, because the age of the person, the victim, is very important to a case like this. Right, because the R. Kelly case, I have to look more into that case. So that he ended up with time in jail. So his case, it turned into a criminal. So I don't know if it was any civil lawsuits against Mr. R. Kelly. So I have to look into that. So I know his case was criminal. And I think that I'm pretty sure that the victims, they said the victims were underage, but they didn't come to find out Some of them said that they were a certain age, but they wasn't. So, but I mean, you need to see their ID cards, what year were they born. That's very important because we don't want to send nobody to jail that's, wrongfully accused, or, age and all that stuff be all mixed up. But, well, I'm not going to keep this video too long, so it's 50 minutes, so let me finish reading this here. It says, right, so in other words, they were talking about Mr. R. Kelly over the years with a lot of underage black girls. So R. Kelly, they're alleging that his cases were based on him dealing with, I guess, allegedly assaulting these underage girls that were not famous. That's what they're saying here. So he dealt with underage girls, and so his allegations were against underage girls that were not famous. But I guess Puffy, on the other hand, Cassie, when he was dealing with her, she was a famous singer under his label. And I think also it has to do with the character of Sean Diddy Combs. He's fought with his son's coaches before. So, I mean, that ain't nothing. They said he fought with his son's coaches before, but that really doesn't have, I guess it could. But a lot of times, we all have fought with not fought, but we all may have gotten into arguments with our kids' teachers or our kids' friends, or we have to reprimand our kid, a child or whatever, in front of their friends. So to me, that doesn't really make me feel that, you'll be guilty of this or that because you got into it with the coach. So, that ain't, that's something that we all may have done. I have never fought with my kids' coaches or nothing like that, but I'm saying that doesn't make a person guilty or innocent of anything because you fought with somebody's coach. A lot of times we do that for our kids. We show up for our kids, We don't want people to undermine our kids, so we'll quickly. So it's just like if you get in we'll be the same, but you get in an argument with your wife. You get in an argument with your wife, you get in an argument with your husband. That doesn't make you guilty of something else over there. Those are totally different. So you can't, when it comes to law, you cannot put those two together. Each incident is separate. Each incident is separate. Because it's just like I can be irate with somebody over here, and I could be arguing with somebody over there. Maybe say for instance, I was arguing with somebody 2 days ago, and I was arguing with them about an issue. But then again, I was with this lady 2 weeks earlier, and we were both in the store, and she stole something from the store, but I didn't steal anything. She stole something. But does that make me guilty of this? Stealing from the store because she stole from the store just because I was arguing with these people over here days previously? No, those are two incidents. You can't put them together like that. Incidents are separate. My opinion, when it comes to the law, you can't charge me for that because that happened over there. That don't mean I'm guilty for this over here because that happened over there and I was involved in that. Over there, I was arguing. But over in the other incident, I ain't had nothing to do with it. Because that was the other young lady that stole from the store. So you see what I'm saying? Individual. You have to individualize these incidents, these acts. So he's fought, and see they do that a lot of times, bring up your past. That is what happens. It happens like that. You go run for president. You go run for mayor. You run for president. You do this and do that in the public eye. They will pull up everything that you did in the past, negative or positive. Mostly negative. Really. So that's what happens. So then right here, on this article right here, it says. Diddy has also had a track record of being abusive and violent towards men. See what I'm saying? They will put up everything. He's fought with his son's coaches before. He's fought rappers like Drake before and other music executives. There have even been viral videos of him busting up his own office. I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. My opinion, incidents, acts, transactions must be individualized. Separated is what I'm saying. Just because I busted up this office over here doesn't mean I did what you said I did last week. Those are two separate incidents. So when it comes to the law, the legal system is what can be proven. What can be proven in a court of law? Just because I cussed that man out over there last night, that don't mean I cussed that lady out over there today. I mean, what proof do you have? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to individualize, separate the incidents. So they're saying, so now you're saying just because he got into an argument with Drake, just because he fought his son's coach, just because he did this and this and that in the past, or he guilty of doing this now. Nah, that's not the case. With me, I don't believe in that. It's what you can prove. Can you prove those allegations? So that's the idea. So like I said, he fought with rappers like Drake before and other music execs. I mean, that do give you some sort of proof of saying, hey, you know, you're in the court of law. You know, well, that gives me proof to say that you do have a temper because you fuss with this person, you fuss with that person. I mean, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just speculating. So, you know, when you get in the court of law, they're going to bring everything up. So he fought rappers like Drake and other music executives. And like I said, he argued with his son's coach. And there have even been viral videos of him busting up his own office. So it's not very far-fetched. That's how they think, you know. That's how people think. So it's not very far-fetched for people to believe that he could be abusive to women in his life. I mean, like I said, it's all in all, what can you prove in a court of law? You know, what, you know, can you prove? I want to just step back here and look at this big picture. What do you think this moment means for the hip-hop industry? I think it's still early to tell if this is going to be an overall cultural reckoning in hip-hop, but we definitely are living through a historical moment. As for repercussions, Diddy so far has temporarily stepped down as the chairman of Revolt, which is his media company. A lot of women and survivor advocate groups have released statements and petitions calling on the Grammys to rescind his 2024 nomination and his invite to the ceremony. And Rolling Stone reported that 18 of the companies that were previously working with him on his e-commerce site called Empower Global, that they've severed business completely. So they lose a lot of business opportunities. So this definitely is a crucial moment for those in his inner and outer circles deciding on their level of proximity and attachment to him going forward. So that's it. Yeah, a lot of times allegations like these people will cut all ties with you. Some of your friends will start backing away from you. Business opportunities will fall. Business opportunities will fall. You will fall short. Business opportunities because if you're doing business with somebody that's accused of these horrendous allegations, you're doing business with somebody, you know, that will hurt your company. That will hurt your company, your customer base. Right. And it's all in all about being ethical, being morally sound. It's about it comes down to morals and ethics. And customers are important as well, but it comes down to morals and ethics, your brand. Your brand, it starts to bring down your brand. So when you get into branding, that's just saying, just say for instance, I'm running a company and I have somebody working for me, or somebody working for me, or somebody, my partner. You know, I don't have a sole proprietorship, but I have a LLC, a limited liability company, or I have a partnership, or I have a corporation, and I have my business partners accused of allegations like these in a civil lawsuit, you know, and I just keep them in my company, and I'm still working with them. I'm still in a partnership with them, or they're still part of my corporation. Right, that does hurt your brand. It hurts your brand. It brings down your brand. Because it hurts your brand, it hurts your customers, you'll lose customers. I mean, you just lose all around other business opportunities. So branding is very important. So you want your brand to be ethical, clear, and free of any allegations. Your brand, your brand is your, well, in your brand, you have to put out a certain perception of you to the public. You don't want your customers, you don't want the public to perceive you as a company that has a lot of, whether it has some workers that, not workers, but could be workers, but business partners. You don't want to be perceived as a company that, your business partners have these severe allegations against them, in several civil lawsuits. So that's ineffective for your brand. How are you going to build a strong, dependable, reliable brand that customers can trust? They figure, you had all these allegations on your partner, all these civil allegations, these civil lawsuits on your partner. You're running a corporation and you have, your partner, he has all these civil allegations against him, assaults against women, against people, against society as a whole, so we don't want to have no dealings with you. So that's how it goes. It brings down your brand. But like I said, these are civil allegations. So in other words, you are innocent until proven guilty. So in other words, Mr. Puffy P. Diddy Combs, right, stepped down from I guess, several companies that he was representing, right, because he might as well have stepped down, because they probably was going to ask him to step down anyway, because you are hurting the brand with these allegations against you, whether they're true or false. Allegations can go a long way. Allegations can hurt. Allegations can destroy lives. Just so much that comes with an allegation. Because when somebody alleges you did something, and then first thing people gonna do, they believe it. A lot of times, whether they believe it or not, whether it's true or not, then sometimes people still always will have their doubts. Well, did he do it or didn't he do it? They just didn't prove it. Well, he may have done it. So, that's how they go. So an allegation, you're working at, just say, for instance, somebody working at a daycare center, and you're working at a daycare center, you're working at a school, and you're working around children, you're working around mentally unstable adults, say for instance, they're mentally challenged, I would say, and or even you're working in a daycare center around children, and then some allegations come up. That's it. Once those allegations come up, whether they have been proven or not, they still will hurt you. Because people will realize, and they'll be thinking, it wasn't proven. They may say, well, they went to court, but it wasn't proven. They dropped the charges. But then there still always will be a doubt or some type of space in the back of people's mind when they would say, did she do it? Did she do it? She wasn't proved. It wasn't proven in a court of law. She went to court. She was working at the daycare center. and the allegations came up on her or him, saying that this alleged assault on these children, or these adults, these mentally challenged adults. Just using it, I'm just using an example. And so the allegations came about, and it could be any allegation, in any working segment or setting. You could be a bus driver, transporting people around town, or you could work in a cafeteria. I mean, wherever you are working, wherever a person could be working, and then allegations come up, because allegations can come anywhere. They can come up anywhere, and then but what if these are just allegations? But allegations still hurt, is what I'm saying. Allegations still hurt, and there's always going to be some theory and doubt. There always will be a theory and a doubt in the back of somebody's mind to say, even if the person was proven not guilty in a court of law. Say, for instance, these allegations go all the way to a civil trial in a civil court, not a criminal court, but a civil court of law. And what if these allegations against Mr. Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, goes to a civil, the civil lawsuit goes to a civil court, a trial, and then he is proven not guilty of these allegations in this civil court of law. But there always will be some doubt in some people's mind. I would say some people's. There will always be some doubt in some people's mind. With what? Maybe, like I said, maybe he did it. It was, it was just not proven, because sometimes when you go to court, it depends on the evidence that's brought into that courtroom that will determine your fate, innocent or guilty. Because a lot of times, if the right evidence is not able to be presented in the trial, because the jury is only going to go by the evidence that's presented in that courtroom. So if you don't have the right, if your lawyers or your side, your lawyers, your team, if they don't have the right evidence that can help you to be found innocent, then, so the only thing I'm saying is that, the main thing I'm saying is that evidence, that particular evidence that needs to be presented on your side to make you be found innocent, So what I'm saying is if the evidence is not in favor of you, if the right evidence is not presented on your side, to help you prove your case, then I mean you can't, what evidence does the prosecution have against you, and then what evidence do your lawyers have to support your defense of say, hey, look, I'm innocent. That didn't happen. I don't know what they talk about. That didn't happen. That person, what they're saying, those allegations are definitely not true. But what evidence are you going to bring? What evidence does your lawyers have for you that they are going to present to the court, to this court of law in the civil trial that can, or even if it could be a criminal trial, that could prove your innocence, But I'm going to end this video right now, so I'm talking like a lawyer, but this is 1 hour and 8 minutes so far. But I want to say thanks for joining me. Glad to see you, glad you could be here, glad you could join me. So I just wanted to go over a few of those little lawsuits, not little lawsuits, but a few of those lawsuits. But that was just some information from NBC News. So I want to say thanks for joining me. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will be presenting more legal analysis on different, I guess I would say different lawsuits, different lawsuits, different cases, civil. I mostly like to deal with the civil cases, so civil cases. So I like dealing with civil cases, civil law. Now, criminal law is good too, because my cousin, he's a criminal lawyer, He's a criminal lawyer out in Georgia. So he has been practicing law for a long time, you know. So I should have went to law school when he went. But what? I do have my paralegal diploma, so I am, you know, so I am, you know, up to date on the basics, basically, you know. So there's so many areas of law and so much to learn. So I mean, you know, just get so my picture keeps going down. So let me get off this video right now, and I want to say thanks for joining me. Glad to see you. Glad you could be here. Glad you could join me. Shirley TV. What? Right here on YouTube. So excuse me, Shirley TV. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on my next video. So have a good one. Bye.